this is amazing. Up, it's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Moskin, Cam Water.
For the first time here for season 3. Davis on pole, Vandergren in second. It's going to be sprint round action here tonight. Let's go racing here at Daytona. It was a good start there from Davis in comparison to Vandergren in behind. Cowan's absolutely bogged it up and already dropped out of the top 3 here as they come down towards turn 1 for the first time. There's biffing and barging between Gallen and Cowan. These guys are still going at it after last season. They survived for this time by though. Through turn 2 and 3 they come. Nice and clean, boys. Keep it up as they come up to...
I love riding. It's a real social thing. There's a great bond between riders.
Every weekend, I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other.
Riding to work is a great way to start the day.
Shannons insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. They offer features riders really want. It's why they're one of Australia's leading motorcycle insurance providers.
Whatever you ride, whatever you ride,
Whatever you ride.
ride with Shannons.
Call 134646 for a quote.
Through turn 1, it was a horrible start from De Bono, who's absolutely bogged it up and gets eaten alive by Dixon and Gowans as they come on through. Through turn 1 they come, and they all spread out around in towards the first sector of the Silverstone circuit. They look all right at the moment. Okay, there's already been a car spun round. That's Jordan Ferguson offline.
Is green, green, green at Road Atlanta here as well. Faulkner did get away. De Bono is tucked in as well. Unfortunately, Houghton is on that outside line. De Bono does want to tell him to do. He's got the job. De Bono's overtaken. Now can he get Ben Faulkner up through turns for 2 and 3? They go round the right-hander, dropping down the hill. Faulkner's out in front. De Bono second. Houghton third. Ratcliffe in fourth. No real dramas going into turn 1.
We've always had a few cars. They're all special. The T-Bird.
Oh, that's mine.
The Combi for when we want to get away. The XR8.
It's going to be a classic.
They're all insured with Shannons,
We've also got Shannon's home and contents cover.
which helps protect our automotive collectibles, tools and memorabilia in the home and garage. If you're motoring enthusiasts like us, it's got to be
Shannon's.
Shannons, insurance for motoring enthusiasts. Call 134646 for a quote.
This is amazing. Up, it's clash heads again. This is like Chaz Moskin, Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because Tell you what, Bruce Tanek and Jamie Dyson just absolutely drove away from us. Hayden trying to go around the outside. This is where he could have just sent it up the inside, but he hasn't committed, which is fair enough. It's very scary out there, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if we get the wrong. Dodd's just absolutely competitive. Really nice move. Blake Delaney had to move out of the way.
Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Sim Racing World TV, and welcome into Season 3 of 2024 for the Warren and Brown Tools V8 Supercars Championship here for Round 1 out at Daytona Road Course. I'm your commentator here tonight, Hamish Munro, joined once again by Steve Sinkovic. Sinker, we had a nice little preview of these cars on Tuesday night, but with some faster boys out here tonight and everything to play for now that the championship is all and open, and anyone who has signed up for this series can win it. We may have a couple of hungry boys out there willing to lick the stamp and send it a couple of times across this race.
Definitely licking the stamp and sending it. Just straight to the top of the screen. And a lot of fast names. That's what I'm seeing, mate, on this list. A lot of fast names. Looks like a few people are still away. I'm sure that by next week we'll be up into the 30s. But the cars are looking good. Some drivers and some new skin. I've just noticed Mr. Blake Delaney is driving, I'm not sure if it's on the broadcast, but his Anzac livery, which is a pretty cool livery.
Maybe that was the last time he raced and he's forgotten to change it. Maybe that's the problem for Mr. Blake Delaney. But of course, Daytona has been across a lot of Supercars series this week, including the Vets as well, where there was pure carnage all throughout all three splits, and we had some carnage on Tuesday night. Could be even more here tonight with the fast-paced runners out that we would normally expect on a Sunday night. All the spots you have to check out for racing. I mean, turn 1 through to turn 3 and turn 5 for both the horseshoes, as well as turn 6, the entry onto the bowl. We can see drivers lighted up a little bit too early through there, end up either on the wall or further into the infield, and then also the infamous Lamore chicane, as that's where Blake Delaney's currently coming through here in the practice session. There are so many different spots on this track that we can see carnage happening, even around the bowl and onto the start-finish line, where cars can sometimes go 3-4 wide, and then there's about 4 cars on the wall, and just absolute chaos can ensue. I mean, what more could we ask for on a Sunday evening of Supercars action, especially at this track, which is it's infamous, but sometimes it's infamous for the wrong reasons in some people's minds. I love driving here, but I also love watching it.
It's just that evil part of being a commentator, isn't it, mate?
Mate, I love it.
Put them out there and let them have fun. Look, you know, for the viewers out there, just have a look at the names that are on the list tonight. There's some really fast boys. I'm not going to go through them, but there's a couple of really fast boys missing too. So registration for this series is up at 48 drivers. So I know that by round 2, everyone's probably, some of these boys are probably sitting there having a coffee thinking, oh, I wonder what's on YouTube tonight. And they're going, holy shit, quality started and I've missed my spot. But it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, I'm not going to start listing names because they're just all fast guys and a lot of past champions.
Well, I mean, we'll have many opportunity to list them throughout the season anyway, of course, as the season progresses and as we figure out who is within the chances at taking some victories this season, but also taking this championship as well. This may be the closest championship we've ever had on a Sunday, Sinker, based on how fast the field's going to be, based on all the drivers in the field and how fast they are. But also, maybe it's going to take a little bit of luck and consistency to try and win that title. I think wins may not be as important this season as they previously have been. I think consistent finishes are going to be even more important than anything.
Said, mate, there's no doubt in my bones at all. We've seen it all before, that consistency is the key. It's, we've seen championships won where drivers have only just won the final round. So it's been done before, and we've seen it happen last season again. Some of the drivers out there, young Davis and Robertson, is it, in the Formula 3s, did it last season as well.
Oh, Dave Roberts, yeah.
That's it, Dave Roberts, yeah. So it's definitely on the cards. Consistency is definitely the key.
Well, I think you know, it's going to be, it's either going to go one or two ways. Someone's going to dominate the whole season, and win the whole thing, or it's going to be between probably about 3 or 4 drivers who are able to show up week in and week out, get those consistent finishes in that we mentioned. I mean, the first point of call is who can make all 9 rounds. That's your first point of call for finding who could be a champion out there. The second point of call is how consistent have they been at the top end of the field, and how well can they contest for these championships. I mean, you know, we have Rehan Lianage out there. We know how quick he was last season. He wasn't at every round, so he didn't win the championship. I mean, Dylan Gray, he came close on Tuesday nights, but again, his inconsistency of trying to come through the field kind of cost him in the end. He gave the championship to John Gallen. Connor Nixon, we know that he can be ultra consistent driving for Drop Bear Motorsport now. They are known for consistent drivers as well as quick drivers. Scott Gamble is arguably the best in terms of over 40s Supercars drivers in Australia. The likes of Blake Delaney as well, and Bruce Tannick, Darren Bob. It's going to be incredibly tightly contested. There's probably about 5 or 6 drivers who could win this championship, including a couple of outside picks. And we get to call all the action for all 9 rounds.
Warboy's not on this list as well. You've got Daniel Whittaker, he's not on here. Maddox Stewart, past champion, is not on here just yet. So there's a lot more there. In my little screen, mate, I've got the schedule for this season, for season 3 of 2024 100 round Supercar Championship. So just to give you guys a bit more insight, there is no more what do they call it?
Well, I'm just going to point out that that's not actually...
No more assist.
It's not working properly. It's actually cut out. I'll actually put the calendar on this. I'll fix this. I know how I can. Yeah, I know how I can. Not big screen, but I'm just going to save the calendar and then paste it over the top of the week. Is that what happened?
So anyway, there are no assists at the moment with drivers at the moment. All they've got is the blip assist, the clutch assist for the guys who don't have a clutch, just the paddle shifts. That is only assist. There's no lines, no brake assist, there's no nothing. So the boys are out there racing in championship form. Purely driver, car, setup against setup, driver against driver. That's how it's going. Where we're starting is tonight. Tonight is Daytona, and tonight is our sprint round. So 2040, we'll have our qualifying coming up now, and then we will have the 20-minute sprint followed by a 40-minute sprint, reverse top 10. Monza, Italy, on the 28th. It's going to be a normal 60-minute. Then we're off to Italy and Imola for a sprint round again, 2040. Back to Spa for the spectacular track that is for a normal round. Fuji is going to be a sprint round. Then we've got the Aussie tracks coming up. So we've got our first top 10 shootout is in round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Round 6 at Sandown, and that's going to be a top 10 shootout followed by an 80-minute race. Then we've got Oran Park for a sprint, then divisional battles again for another enduro top 10 shootout and 80-minute run, followed by the closing of the season for round 9 at Road America for a normal 60-minute run and a spectacular finish to the season. I'm betting every single way. Mr. Greg Barbs is saying good evening, good day, mate. Mr. Rushworth as well. RWK Racing and Mr. Peter Papp, go Pelicans, and Rushworth's going Pelicans as well. So hoping to see a lot of fun out there for the next 9 weeks, and please like and subscribe, hit the notification so you don't miss any of the action.
That's exactly right, mate. As times are just coming in now, we've had 7 drivers set times. This is now automatically jumped up to 8. Currently it is Rehan Lianage who sits at the top of the timing sheet with a 143.5, 0.684 I think it is. Yeah, 0.684. As Dylan Gray's P2 ahead of Will Brown at the moment. Scott Gamble was unable to get a time in on his first run. He has come back in to fix that car up. As we get more and more drivers into the session, Blake Fitzpatrick has now joined the session as well, so he gets added to the list. Makes life a little bit easier when people actually show up before.
They get faster, and they get faster, and they get faster.
That's right.
You know, we also did mention, Connor Nixon, former NZ League champion as well. So there's going to be some fast racing here. It's pretty much going to be like we saw in the F1 last night. A couple of tenths between spots in qualies, and it's going to be a close battle all the way through the season. And I'm loving it, mate. I've already got goosebumps just thinking about it.
Well, it's going to be, as we mentioned, incredibly tightly contested. It's anyone's game at this point in time. As it always is at the start of a new season, we don't know who the major players are until that first checkered flag really drops and we can see where drivers have been situated as of the end of that race, but also how they go throughout the race. You can get a big understanding of how someone's season may go after even 1 or 2 rounds, just based on how they're driving in the field and how they're contesting with the other drivers around them, and how their pace is looking as well. Now, obviously there's outside edges of if someone's suited to a track more than another driver, or if someone doesn't particularly like a certain type of track. All these sorts of things can really have a part to play. But I mean, it's quite interesting how it can come together throughout a season, how certain drivers can find some pace after a couple of rounds or after 4 rounds or whatever it might be, and then all of a sudden they're a challenger at the end, because some of the top boys have had some tough runs at the midpoint of the season.
100%. We've got our Season 2 champion on the screen at the moment, Mr. Jamie Maxwell Dyke from Fishy Motorsports, and he is wearing the champion's number 1 on his car for this season. I know that he's usually got a 08 or something like that on his. I know it's an 8 in there somewhere. That he has worn for ages in SRW, even from his incarnations previous to the FRL days. Mate, any early predictions to tonight's battle? I can see a lot of pace out there. Rihanna is already setting a standard there. It's about 3/10 faster than Dylan Gray. Will Brown's doing a good time. Jamie's got a good time. Blake as well. Noble's up at pointy end, and Harry Dodds, who's now a PER boy, he's part of the Pelican crew. So it's good to see him out there and joining. But now the problem is we just don't know which Pelicans on track, because they all look the same, guys. Get the hint. Give me something to to tell you guys apart.
Different wheel colours. It's the easiest way to do it, or different
wheel tail something. It doesn't look like the series banners are functioning, but I'm sure Hamish will get them.
I'm going to be honest, I haven't finished doing them. Once I've done them, I'm then going to send them to Barb's to set up for me. Then we'll have it.
That's all right, mate.
I've got to do them for Tuesday anyway, so it's fine. I've made the initial thing. I've just got to put them on the cast. That's all it is.
Look, it's awesome. The boys are still streaming into the session, and we are 7 minutes in, halfway through. And the boys are still cracking some great pace out there.
Speaking of great pace, Dodsey's just gone P6 on the road.
Yeah, wow. Maybe some extra practice is gone his way. Mr. Noble is doing really well as well. He's sitting there in 7th place. Hi Delaney in 8th, which is really good. Mr. Tannock, who finished with a really good form at the end of the Season 2, he was on fire, so the last half of that season, and hopefully he carry some form into this season.
I just realised someone not on my list. It's Tim Mulford, who I forgot to add to my list. But he can actually be on the... Sorry, Tim. I forgot to put you on there. Here we go. The trials of early season of you wait for drivers to join the session to make your life easier.
There's a few people that have swapped teams. He's not here tonight, but Scotty Van Loom is actually a fish now.
Fishy, yeah. He joined Fishy kind of towards just before the start of the vet season, I'm pretty sure. He joined Fishy.
Yeah, correct. Pretty much when we opened up, I think it was around round 9. Steve Banks' wheel colours sinker is the key.
Exactly.
Yeah, it would be good if we could always see them, but they all look the same.
Well, if you're colourblind like Sinker, then they all look the same. But no, you speak of team... I was about to say, you speak of team changes. 2 drivers, though, Sinker in the field, who are of different teams since their last race in SRW. Scott Gamble, now formerly of Evolution Racing Team WKMP Sim Sports, now of 9.5 Sim Sports. And then Connor Nixon, formerly of Vermilion. Well, he wasn't here last season, so
that's correct.
And then Connor Nixon, previously of Vermilion Motorsports, now of Drop Bear Motorsports.
Yeah, he was at Drop Bear originally as well, and I think he came back to him by the look of it.
Not a new PC, Andrew. A lot more RAM. That's the trick. That's what's fixed it, is a lot more RAM. Yeah, I've got my task manager up, and I'll give you the hot tip. Wednesday, CPU was at 80-90%, and the RAM was at 80. We're sitting at a cool 43% right now on the RAM, and CPU is always going to run about 80%. So it's running a lot better. So the worst thing now is my Ethernet, which is currently blipping up and down on it, and I'm like, oh, I hope that's consistent, which I think it is because it's streaming. So, but
well, at least we know that Wednesday night we'll we'll have a show to show.
Yeah, it'll be
Hamish
tomorrow.
We'll redo that show as well.
Yeah, it'll be tomorrow. Myself and Jack Anderson will do it. I'm still waiting for a replay from Stefan sent me a replay, but he sent it as a zip file, and I can't get the replay out of it. I asked for it on Google Drive, so I might send him a reminder tomorrow and just ask if he can send that to me so we can get it done tomorrow night. We can see all the action from the Hungaro ring. But 11 minutes into qualifying, currently, Sinker, it is Rehan Leonage to Dylan Gray to Scott Gamble in P3 to Will Brown and Tim Mulford making up the top 5 at the moment. Everyone in the session other than Anthony Visman, David Coleman and Connor Nixon have set times in this qualifying session as we currently stand.
Yes, 100%. You are correct as usual, mate. And it's good to see the numbers are streaming in the room as we speak. Luckily, we did send it. Well, Hamish sent out a post saying, "Hey guys, remember we're racing tonight."
Yeah, I'll be honest.
We will probably get...
Scott forgot until I reminded him on our Split 2 broadcast this afternoon.
Yeah. Well, round one's always one that people will sort of like, oh my God, is it tonight already? Like for us this week was like, wow, is it this round? Is round one already here? Well, guess what? Round one's already gone. It's how quick it's gone. It's been crazy this week.
Well, it's going to be weird now because round one, or like two races of the season, are now going to be out of sync for the rest of the season because of us having to postpone the Friday night round one to start next week instead of this past week. So that's now going to be off filter. Yep, thanks Microsoft, appreciate it. It's funny how things like that can just completely spiderweb and just affect almost everything. It's quite interesting how that can work out.
Well, not just us, mate. We were the tip of the bottom end of what was important out there. Airports were down. You know, there was all sorts of things going on. Mr. Love's on sesh, and he's got his first sector green.
He has. He's currently sitting P19 in the timing tower. So maybe maybe he's spending a little bit of time away from the rig after being ill for the majority of last season. Might take him a little bit of time to get back up to pace. But someone who will not take that much time to get up to pace is Scott Gamble, who is we know is incredibly quick, defending Split 1 Vets champion. And he has not missed an absolute beat since winning that championship. I can tell you that for sure. Into the chat saying, I'm sure a lot of drivers are coming off of the back of a very wet Spa 24-hour race. I'm sure they are. I know John Gallen's on about 2 hours of sleep thanks to that event. So,
Blake Delaney, third sector purple.
Oh,
good to see Mr. Delaney up there.
Where is he? I mean, his first two weren't absolute blinders, so this may be a push lap, it may not be.
Ooh. Coleman, 2 greens. That's always a good sign. 2 greens is good. Sometimes it's better having greens.
I was about to say all greens is going to happen when you haven't. Yeah, it's going to happen, Sinker, when you haven't set a lap time yet.
This could be me putting the moz on Coleman again.
Well, he hasn't set a lap time, so he's only ever going to set greens on this lap unless he can get purples.
Oh, is this your first one? Is it?
This is his first actual timed run.
Well, I'm sure it's going to be a nice one, mate.
We'll see. We'll see what he can pull out here. Blake Delaney, though, is on a purple and a green. We'll see if his time's any better. I don't think it's going to challenge the top time. It is not even going to... Oh, it's going to put him in P9 on the road, so he gets inside the top 10 with 145.04. They've got 40 seconds to get their times in. Being a sprint round, they must finish the lap by the time the 15 minutes is up. Otherwise, they will get cut off. As David Coleman is going to come round the final corner. We'll see what his lap time is going to look like here. It's going to be his only eligible lap time in qualifying. He's not going to have time for another one as he comes across the line with 20 seconds to go. Where's it going to slot him? If it's even going to count, it's going to put him P14 on the road. That's going to have to be good enough for him. Scott Gamble, he's the only challenger to Rehan Leonage at the moment. As he comes up towards the bus stop chicane. Oh no, he's not even going to make the line actually. He was coming up to the pit entry, so Gamble's had to pull out of it.
He went under the old double yellows, which would have got him an off track anyway. Well, this is it. Top 10. Our first top 10 for season 1 in the Warren and Brown V8 Supercar Championship on Sunday nights.
Well, we're going to get our starting grid up for you now, ladies and gentlemen. It'll be Rehan Leonard starting on pole position, starting out his championship run as he left it last season. He'll start pole position ahead of DK Motorsports' Dylan Gray for the front row of the grid. Scott Gamble, Will Brown will then start on the second row of the grid ahead of Tim Mulford and Jamie Dyke, with Brad Doble and Anthony Visma for the fourth row. Blake Delaney and Harry Dodds then make up the top 10 here in qualifying, with Ty Delaney and Sam Noble just on the bubble of that top 10. John Gallen, David Coleman then line up in behind, with American Stacey Boyd in P15 here tonight ahead of Bruce Tannick. Andrew Cowan, Mark Houghton, Travis Daly and Darren Lobb making up the top 20 here. Shane Randall will start ahead of Will Buchanan and Blake Fitzpatrick, as well as Connor Nixon to make up the rest of the grid here tonight. Connor not setting a lap time in qualifying. We'll have to wait and see if he is going to make the start of this race here as the cars are going to start getting gridded up.
Yeah. Hopefully he's not going to do a
Van der Kraan?
Scotty Van Loom. Not Scotty Van. Yeah, Van der Kraan, who just does a practice quali and disappears. But he did race the other night. I saw him go on track for the first time in ages.
Mitch Noble is supporting Sam Noble just because they have the same last name here, even though he doesn't know who he is. If you know what the best reason to support someone if you have no other reason to support anyone else.
Oh, this is true. We don't have a Team SRW driver in tonight. We don't have one to fight for the championship title. We'll have to work on that.
Just need to pressure Jamie Davis to race on Sundays. That's pretty much. That's probably realistically based on pace. He's probably the only option for a Sunday night championship.
Yeah. Let's see how they go. Time is ticking. We are down. They had 3 minutes. There's another minute to go.
Yep, Dylan Gray, of course, wrapping new colours on his DK Motorsports livery here tonight. So we'll see if that's going to help him. He has had someone make his livery for him, and apparently they've been playing with spec maps. He's got a bit of a chrome on there. Of course, Rehan at the front of the grid as well. And we will get a bird's eye view of when Barney's going to wave that flag for us here for the start of the race.
Dylan Gray, the former MotoGP pit reporter? No, he's not.
No, it's not. No, he's too young for that. No.
So I've got my camera on Mr. Lobb coming from the back.
Yep.
He's starting in 20th place, and he's got beside him Mr. Who's in front of him?
Or Mr.
Travis Daly, who's racing for M1 now.
Yep.
And behind him, one of your co-hosts, Shane Randall.
Yep. Of course, this is probably actually the field with the most co-hosts of races I've actually had, like commentating co-hosts, Connor Nixon and Scott Gamble. And Cowie as well. There's 3 of them out there actually. So this is definitely a race with the most co-hosts I've ever had.
He's on track as well.
Yeah. And the lights are going to go up there. We're going to go racing here for race number 1 here tonight. Rehan Leonard in the front row of the grid alongside Dylan Gray. Who's going to get the jump down towards turn 1? As we are green here for Daytona. It was a good start from majority of the field as they start to slot into their positions now down towards turn 1. Need to be careful of any late bloomers, late divers here as they come on through. Gamble and Brown already side by side through 1 as they trickle their way through for the first time here tonight. Not too many big losers out of it apart from Shane Randall, who's already dropped to the back of the field. Although there has been contact in the background for a couple of drivers as Tannick is looking to make his way. Oh, I think Buchanan's had it off track as well.
Back there. I think he might have clipped the wall a little bit on his own. That was the M1 driver himself, Mr. Travis Daly. Dylan's going to try to stay in the back of Rehan here. He's got to stay real close if he wants to be able to catch him and compete tonight.
Well, this is going to be. I was going to say this is going to be a big challenge for Dylan, because not only does he have to chase down and try and pass Rehan, he has to try and hold off Scott Gamble. This is not going to be an easy task for Dylan. Possibly a character-making race for him in this sense of having to hold off this man here. Because we know that Gamble is a tenacious competitor, incredibly smooth as he comes through the bus stop for the first time. We'll see if there's any big incidents that happen down here. Tannick leading around Noble as they come through.
It's pretty clean. It's settled down real nicely. I think.
Say that as John Gallen is cutting some grass on the inside of the pole. So the current and last Tuesday Pro-Am champion has already dropped to the back of the field, so not starting his night. Yeah, I think he just got a bit loose off the bus stop. Unfortunately, he'll have a slowdown off that as Rehan's trying to cut it across Gray. Gamble wants to get involved too.
Had a Gray slip in between those two cars there. That was
idea.
Crazy. He didn't. No contact.
We can see here Leonage under pressure now from Gamble. Gamble and Gray may need to start working together.
Gamble.
He's
tapping him on the shoulder.
There's a lot of Phoenix drivers around these boys now. Dykey may need to start working with Gamble and Gray here to fight these guys off. As they come up towards the second horseshoe now, Dylan Gray leads the way after taking the lead on the bowl. And don't be surprised if we see a lot of lead changes tonight. We know the majority of the field will be running minimum wing. There'll be lead changes around the bowl and off the toe on the back straight. We're really only going to get an opportunity to know who's going to be on to win this race pretty much on the last lap, to know who could have the run from the toe down towards the line. As we come up back onto the oval.
Always best to be sitting up front. I've got bottom screen. I've got Darren Lobb finding his way through the crowd, and he has got Cowan right on front of him with Noble. And have a look at this. These three guys coming down. Noble's taking the bank a bit to the wide, to the right. Here comes Cowan and Lobby. Is he going to make a sniff on the inside? Not quite yet, not quite yet. Oh, well done by Noble. Oh, Cowie's taking too much ground.
Cowie!
Is he going to hold it? Oh, he's just held that from causing carnage.
We saw him the other night. He ended up blowing his engine in the second race through the bus stop chicane. That's going to be a massive slowdown for Andrew Cowan. And he is now dropping a bunch of time here over the three cars up ahead of him. But Rehan Leonage has now taken back the lead of this race as they come in towards turn one once again. So, as we mentioned, this is what we expect.
But he backed right off.
Maybe just being a bit cautious.
No, he's lost 3 places there now.
Maybe he got a little bit caught up with as Mulford's ended up backing it into the escape rope behind the tyre barrier, and he is stuck there. This could be an early safety car, Sinker. He cannot get that car out of that gap.
He's caught. Hang on, here we go. Let's listen to this in the background.
There's no way he can get that out.
They're told to hold, he can't get loose. Lobby is making his way through that field and done a real good job of it, I'll tell you that right now. He is already up.
He's up 8 spots to P12.
Yeah.
He's moving his way on up as quickly as possible as Leonage already trying to break the toe.
Yep. Rehan's already got back to the front again. This boy's switching like crazy. Gamble is like 0.07 behind Dylan Gray there and chasing him down like crazy. Is he going to tuck in the inside?
He's giving him a little bit of a kiss just to try and break the ego a little bit, maybe break the spirits of Gray. But now Gamble's left himself open on assault from Dyke and Brown as they come round the inside line there.
Oh, look at that. I love this. This is Days of Thunder stuff. Just keep it cool, keep it clean. Don't move too much and you'll get through. Dykey's got himself through. Will he be able to make it through 2 cars or 1?
Oh, I mean, see here, Gamble's having to slow right back. He may have a slowdown as Gray has locked it up massively through there. So he is currently...
second time locking it up in there.
Yep.
He's trying to break late there and he's getting the wiggles through there. He was lucky to hold the car the last turn, but again, he's done it. He's going to... That sort of driving is going to really punish his tyres and he's going to struggle. Oh, look at that. He's closed the door on him.
Yeah, he's closed straight across Brown. He's lucky he didn't get himself turned around or knock Brown off track there. I mean, Gray right now feels like he's in a snake pit and they're all just spitting venom at him as they try and come past, and he's getting bullied now by Will Brown as they come through the next horseshoe, and Scott Gamble's trying to find his little pathway through. And I tell you what, Sinker, this right here, this is Supercars racing, and if anyone's going to complain about the fact that these guys are giving each other little knocks or little door bangs, well, they need to go find another type of racing, because this is what it's about. It's about, door to door, giving each other a little bit of a knock. Rubbing's racing at the end of the day, and you've got to be able to survive with the big boys.
Safety car has been called.
And let's see why.
Safety car has been called.
And I think it might be for this reason of Mr. Nixon and Mr. Cowan. on earlier in the lap. So it was at turn 1. So Cowie went it out wide. Nixon's then run it out wide as well. And they've had a contact together. Nixon comes spinning around, just avoids Stacey Boyd, ends up in the wall, and that'll be the reason why.
Cowan coming on? Is that Cowan coming on recklessly, or what was it?
No, I think that's a racing incident from the looks of it. So, because if we look at it here, so Nixon's actually run it wide. There's Cowan on the right hand side. Nixon's run it wide anyway. He's technically off track. So if
he's still on track, man.
Well, he's over the white line. He's technically over the white line.
Is the whole car over the white line? That's going to be the question.
Yeah, I think looking at it, it's a racing incident looking at it, because like you can see there, he's run it out wide, he's slid it out, there's net code involved.
It's going to be a tough one, man. It's going to be a tough one. That's not a clear-cut situation there. Let's see how it goes. It doesn't even look like he really touched him there, to be honest. It doesn't look like Cowie touched him. It looked like he got the wiggles in front of Cowie. So I'm not even sure if there was contact.
It looked like net code, to be honest with you. Like the slightest bit of net code between them. So safety car has been called. This now drags Rehan Leonage back into the grips of Jamie
telling
Dyke.
me that Cowan's going to have a drive-through for that, because he was the one off track coming back on. So that's my gut telling me. He's got a safety car.
My gut's telling me that he may get away with it, because Connor's run it out wide into the pathway of where Cowie's trying to come back on track, and Cowie's really got nowhere to go at that point. And they've just kind of come together.
We'll see what the boys do when they slow it right down and have a look at everything. But how good's the Merc look, mate? With the
it's good to have a safety car that looks like a road car, Sinker. I've vocalised a lot of times that I prefer a safety car look like a road car than look like a race car, as in the GT3 M4, for example. Andrew, the track temperature at the moment, we are running at a ultra... Oh, well, it's getting pretty hot, actually. We're at 37 degrees right now, so these tyres will be screaming by the end of the 40-minute race, at least. So it will be a test for these drivers to look after these tyres, and well, you know, as soon as Rehan tries to run away, he's been sucked back into contention with Jamie Dyke on the back of him, as well as Gray and Gamble, so he's not going to get out of this too easily now, because we know that Dykey's not going to be, you know, as, let's say, patient. He may be willing to try and push for a move. Could end in tears. We'll have to wait and see.
It's like Connor Nixon's left the session. Could be a bit of dummy spitting there, I think.
I don't know.
Safety car is now pulling away, and Round has got the field. He's got Dykey on the back of him, followed by Dylan Gray, Scotty Gamble, Will Brown. Will Brown has got a bit of pace in him this season already. Harry Dodds is looking good already, up 4 places. Ty Delaney up 4 places. Blake Delaney up 1. He's sitting in behind his young fella. Brad Doble continuing his form from season 2. Doing really well, and he's up there in 9th position. Bruce Tannock and Dave Coleman, who seem to be always somewhere in the roundabouts each other on track, doing really well. And Mr. Lobb has got himself up 8 places into 12th.
Well,
so there's no...
I was about to say, we'll see though. Right? No, there's no pros pro-ams. It's all open. It's up for grabs to anyone.
Yep.
It's all up to anyone, and it's open to anyone to join the series as well, no matter their skill level, although we recommend that someone actually has some experience in the supercar when they do sign up, because they may get left for dead.
Level out there. Yeah. Here we go, he's off.
So Rehan has restarted the preceding series. We come up towards turn number 1. Scott Gamble is all over the back of Dylan Gray, and he's still locking up brakes through 1. You know, I'm sorry to say for Dylan, I think he's going to run that out wide, probably about 5 laps time. That front left tyre is going to be absolutely shredded by the time of the end of this race, and I think Gamble may be able to make mincemeat of him if he continues doing stuff like that. It can just come down to simply as brake bias, you know, adjusting that brake bias, putting it a little bit further back to mitigate the the locking of the brake.
Great little battle on the bottom screen, mate. Lobby and Coleman fighting it through. Now Lobby's going to be touching the brake of his cohort, Mr. Tannock. He's going to catch him in a few ticks. Look, don't forget this track depending on what kind of rig you've got set up, is there's a lot to work. You're constantly on your mind. You're constantly focusing on where you're going, where you're turning to, where you're braking to. So he might not have it set up where he can quickly adjust that bias. I know, but when I'm in VR, that is one of the hardest things to do, to adjust the brake bias. Because my wheel's pretty crap. I don't have anything where I could just turn a knob left or right.
Well, battle for the top 4 is continuing on right now. That's going to be a slowdown for Dylan Gray. This is going to be the easiest position that Scott Gamble's ever going to make in this race. He's taken way too many liberties on the run through the bus stop, and he's taken grass, and that's now P3 on the road for Scott Gamble. And Dylan Gray, I would not be surprised if he drops out of the top 5 here, as he has Harry Dodds fast approaching him. He may just survive it, though, down towards turn 1.
How many Pelicans we got tonight?
At least 3 as Doddsy's absolutely centered up the inside of Gray at turn 1.
He's comfortable in that setup, isn't he? He's really done that well with good control. It wasn't like a send where you're going to smoke the brakes up and go. That was a send and keep going. There was no brakes involved.
Yeah, and I think that comes down as Brown now locks the brake up through turn 3. I think that also now probably, again, it just comes down to that brake bias and having that comfortable brake bias set on the car. You're comfortable in your braking zone, you're comfortable in your braking pressures as well. I mean, maybe that was... Oh, as Dylan's caught some grass, the car's already sliding round. That's going to be another position loss for him. Needs to be careful of rejoin here. He comes back in at P9. He is very...
That was so lucky. That could have been a complete spin there. He's drifted it back on track, and he's come back on track in a gap, which was even more lucky. So he's come back in between Brad Dale and Bruce Tannock and slid it in there just like he's meant to be there.
Car 6 has been given a drive-through penalty. Yep, for contact on lap 3. So, I'm not 100% sure what that contact was. I'll see if I can get a replay up for us so we can check it out. And maybe the reason why, this may be why. So Mulford had an off-track on lap 3. He had Visma in behind him. Oh, this would be why here. So that was how Mulford actually ended up in that tyre barrier. Good old Visma actually sent him on a little holiday. It's like going to the gate at the airport and you find out when you get there the passport's out of date. So you're not going any further.
He looked like he was out of a speed camera, mate, waiting for something to get past. All right, so your teammates in the bottom screen at the moment getting a great little fight there with Jonathan Cullen coming on the outside and Cowan. They're all three going through and having a bit of a tussle. Cowan again has got that car wide out on the outside there. I don't know what's going on with his race line there, but he keeps on ending up really wide.
I have to wonder again if that's coming down to maybe he's running slightly more rearward brake bias, but he's braking that little bit too late. It's carrying that little bit too much speed through the first corner, maybe. Maybe that's the issue at hand.
Fitzpatrick's going through the pits as well. He's got himself a black flag as well for restart procedure breach.
Interesting.
And maybe he... Oh, I don't know what happened there. Yeah. Oh, for the safety car breach. Maybe he's passed the car before the finish or something like that.
Maybe. And this was how Will Brown ended up in P2. So it appears that both Jamie Dyke... It does appear that both Jamie Dyke and Scott Gamble copped themselves some slowdowns coming out of the bus stop, coming out of the turn, the bus stop. So that's how Will Brown has actually claimed P2 on the road. Nice little easy move for him there off the back of that one.
Not that far ahead either. Jamie had him in a good position, but he's got himself now to a 1 second gap. That's the largest gap he's had so far tonight. And Will Brown, his teammate, is chasing him down. Jokey and Gamble, third, 10th each. Ty Delaney in 6th. Ty Delaney in 5th. Harry Dodds in 6th. Blake Delaney 7th. Doble 8th. Coleman 9th. Dylan Gray 10th. So that's your top 10. Where is Mr. Lobb gone? He dropped back a few spots.
He's still hanging out behind his teammate, Bruce Tannock, at the moment. I think they're currently getting held up by Dylan Gray. Oh, and there's been contact with Tannock and Gray. So either someone's been getting frustrated, or I'm not sure how that is cultivated. But now Lobb's going to find a position here. possibly over Sam Noble as he gets it up the inside of turn 4. Let's get the replay happening on this one and how this eventuated here for Dylan Gray and Bruce Tannock. So, they've been having a bit of biffing and barging. It was just a big old moz.
He's got to go around the outside of him, and then he tried to pass Tannock on the outside.
This is going to give us a better indication. Yeah, this is going to give us a better indication. So he's trying to tuck up the inside of him at turn 1. Gray's then still there. They're side by side. They've then had this big old biff, and I'm looking at that. I think Tannock's going to have some answering for, because
it's a close one. That's gonna love each way. But how lucky was Darren not to get involved in that in the end? In the end, he spun his teammate around, or his mate around, but he had no options there. Cowie is still going flat stick there, and he's got on the inside. Oh, Tannock's coming back on. It's all right. Oh, what happened there?
So I think right now that is the best reasoning to put the puzzle pieces together of why he's been running wide at turn 1. His brake bias is just out of sorts right now for Cowie. I mean, I think that thing is way too far rear back and rearward, and he is braking way too late for where the bias is situated. That's why he's running so deep into corners. Ray Douglas asking where Grandpa Gowans is these days. He doesn't normally race in supercars. You can find him on Wednesday nights though in SFL.
Yeah, he's there on Thursday night for the 86s and the Formula 3s. Grandpa Gowans. I don't think he was racing V8s on Tuesday for a little while there, just for a bit of fun. But he really sticks to the 86s and the open wheelers.
So we have...
Good to see you back with Douglas.
Great to have you in the chat with us once again. We've got 1.5 minutes left of this race. It'll be 1 lap to go when they cross the line. Will Brown right now is just trying to be a bridge that is made out of Phoenix feathers. He's trying to hold back Scott Gamble from the back of Rehan Leonage at the front of the field, possibly trying to do the team play and get their team's first top 2, number 1-2 finish this season in the first race. But Gamble's not going to sit by and wait too much longer. He's going to look for the move down the inside at the bus stop. Scott Gamble sends it under brakes, gets the move done in an absolute wild move, a big ball move there from Scott Gamble. It's paid off for him. Got to give the hats off there to Will Brown for giving him plenty of space. It takes 2 to tango, remember. And all of a sudden, Scott Gamble's P2 on the road, but he has given Will Brown the toe for the next lap.
Spectacular driving up front. These guys, the four up front, have been swapping and changing all night, and some very class moves all the way through. This is not Red Bull Will Brown.
This is Powerlifter Will Brown. They are not one and the same. So as we lead onto the final lap.
Dylan's struggling with the front left block up. He's that same corner coming off the entry. He's locked it up again, and he's got Travis Daly following him behind. He's done it again. He's locked it up again. He's closed the door. He's locked him out. I think he's going to lose that position as well.
There are two sides of the coin of the reasoning of why this is happening right now. One is his brake bias is too far forward, as I mentioned, or his brake curve is wrong on his pedals and it's forcing the lock-ups at the front end. So, I mean, those are some of the things that a lot of drivers toy with as Will Brown gets a bit of a wiggle off the exit of turn 6 onto 7. That may affect the run onto Scott Gamble, but I don't know. Is Will Brown gonna have the cojones that Gamble did last lap to send it at the bus stop here? I don't think Gamble's close enough to Rehan to put the challenge into the lead at this point. Will Brown is not going to try and send it down the inside. Smart play, nice and patient. He's going to instead sit in behind Gamble and hope to get the run up towards the line. But at the moment, it's Rehan Leonage who leads them round the bowl section. Gamble's gone wide to get out of the toe and stop Will Brown from coming past. They've got Dyke on the inside of them at the moment. Although Gamble actually, I think, might have a slowdown for crossing the grass there at the bus stop, but it doesn't matter. Rehan Leonage is going to come across the line. P1. Dykey's going to try and drag race Brown to P2, but Brown gets it done. Delaney P4, Dodds P5, then Blake Delaney in P6. Scott Gamble, due to the slowdown, has ended up in P7 on the road.
Tell you what, this is going to be a hell of a season, mate. We've still got a few boys missing, and the fighting I'm seeing already at the pointy end is going to be spectacular. It is millimetres. We're talking like positions won and lost by a slowdown is not very often happened in this series, and that's how close it is.
Well, I think there's also the temperament of the track as well of, you know, you push that a little bit too hard through the bus stop, that then ruins your run home to the checkered flag at Daytona, and it's just one of those things that happens. But, you know, Gamble tried to send it, just didn't pay off that time by. But Rehan is the first winner of Season 3 of the Warner Brown Tools V8 Supercars Championship. We've got one race to go here tonight, ladies and gentlemen, and it'll be this man here, Sam Noble, who will be on pole position for race number 2 after finishing P10 in race number 1 tonight. This man, David Coleman, will line up alongside him on the front row of the grid.
Someone's been summoned to the naughty room. I'm just going to have a peek at our...
Oh, who's been summoned? Let's have a look.
Who's been summoned to the naughty room for a bit of a brief chat.
Oh, they're not there at the moment. We have to wait.
Yeah. We will wait. Someone's been asked to come to the naughty room and have a bit of a chin wag there. P10 for Noble. Good job, lad. Sam Noble's accomplished driver, mate. He's been competing in this series for quite a while now, so he's been doing really, really well. Well, mate, that is a fantastic run there. We don't have to go through pros, AMs, and amateurs anymore. It's just
we have 3 people to talk to on Sunday nights whenever it's you know, when after the I know it's good.
Anyway, for those of you who are new to the series, please like and subscribe and hit the notification button so that you will get notified when everything goes to light. Please take. I was referring to the winner of the race 1 to talk to you guys. Okay. We thought we had someone naughty out there. That is so funny. Thank you, Mr. Barbs. Mr. Barbalina, Mr. Grab Barbalina.
Well, not to put the moz on Rehan, but I'm sure we're going to have an opportunity to talk to him in race 2. But we can't really put that claim, knowing how fast the rest of the field is.
Top 10 reverse grid, mate.
Yeah, it's going to be wild.
Yeah, who's on the top 10 reverse?
Well, it's we'll get our Heat 1 results for everyone out there now.
No, Sam Noble. Aaron Lobb missed it.
Yep, so this is how they ended up in race 1. It was Rehan Leonage to Will Brown and Jamie Dyke for the top 3, with Ty Delaney, Harry Dodds making up the top 5. Blake Delaney, Scott Gamble, Brad Doble, David Coleman and Sam Noble then make up the top 10. They will be reversed for the grid of race number 2. Just missing out on that reverse top 10 was Darren Lobb in P11, Dylan Gray P12. Travis Daly, Stacey Boyd and then Mark Houghton make up the top 15 with Shane Randall, Will Buchanan, Bruce Tannick and Andrew Cowan making up the top 19 cars on track. We then had Anthony Visma, Blake Fitzpatrick, John Gallen, Tim Mulford, Connor Nixon making up the rest of the order for that one.
There you go. It's going to be an interesting reverse top 10. It's going to be a great fight to watch. It's going to be some nice racing. Looks like awesome racing, boys. So the boys are chatting in open message. Jamie Dyke saying, "Oh, awesome racing, boys." Mr. Brown said, "You too, Jamie." Great fighting at the front of the field. The boys are all a lot of respect for each other, but some quality racing. It was going to be fun to see these boys battling as a reverse top 10 now, and Lobb on the back of them with position number 11. Who we got on the front again? Stacey. No,
Sam Noble and
David Sam Noble and Dave Coleman. Dave Coleman, Brad Doble with Scotty Gamble, Blake Delaney with Harry Dodds, Ty Delaney with Jamie Dyke, and Will Brown with Brown Leonage. Ty Delaney snuck himself all the way up to 4th place. He quietly, and Harry Dodds just behind him. Are Harry Dodds and Ty Delaney going to be magnets behind each other this season like they were last season?
I'm actually surprised that Harry Dodds didn't join Fishy. Just to get
had an offer.
Well, I was going to say just to get the advantage over Ty. He might have gotten some better setups, maybe. Who knows? You know, equal machinery. Best way to test 2 drivers of who's better. You know, that might have been the go. As a couple of drivers are out there set some laps.
You can see the difference between Verstappen and Perez, that's for sure.
Oh, that's right. You know, but currently Bruce Tannick, Travis Daly, Darren Lobb are all out on track for this warm-up session. They've got about 60 seconds to finish warming themselves up before we go racing for 40 minutes in race number 2 here tonight. And we'll see who is going to get the advantages through that one. We've only had one safety car so far tonight. Singleton happened early on in the proceedings. Do we think we're going to get a couple more in race 2?
You know, with the top dogs fighting their way through. Oh, look, if it doesn't happen early, it won't happen. Once they sort of spread out a bit, this track's pretty wide, a lot of runoff. There was a few cars that had incidents, but they were like well out of the way of any safety hazards or anything like that. So, you know, I don't think so.
Well, only a couple. Oh, so good. Yeah, so good. And how good do they look in the Floridian sun here at Daytona Beach as well?
Floridian sun.
Well,
like
Florida.
Sounds like a place in Star Trek, mate.
Well, Florida, Floridian.
Yes, correct. Very true. Go Gators! 24 people out there watching, probably a few out on YouTube as well. Thank you for coming. If there's someone you want to see on track, or you got interest in one of the drivers or one of the teams, let us know. Ask us some questions. We'd love to have a bit of a chinwag with you guys while the race is going, and fill some spots of dead air when there is no action, which is very rare, but at least you get to see someone that you do like. How good's that Daytona logo look on the grass?
I know, it looks so
I just
good.
sprayed it yesterday.
I know, it's wonderful to have someone rip it up when they do a burnout at the end of this race.
That's a great place. Dikey, no matter what you do, I want to see a burnout on the O on Daytona.
Well, starting
the boys are gridding up, mate.
Yeah, starting grid for race number 2 will be as follows. It'll be Sam Noble ahead of David Coleman on the front row of the grid. Brad Doble and Scott Gamble in behind. Blake Delaney, Harry Dodson make up the third row of the grid, ahead of Ty Delaney and Jamie Dyke for P7 and P8, and a Fishy Motorsports double for the fourth row. Will Brown and then Rehan Leonage will make up the top 10 for Phoenix Racing Team, with Darren Lobb and Dylan Gray starting in behind them here tonight. It will then be Travis Daly, Stacey Boyd ahead of Mark Houghton and Shane Randall. Will Buchanan and Bruce Tannick will line up alongside each other, with Andrew Cow and Anthony Visma making up the top 20. Blake Fitzpatrick, John Gallen, Tim Mulford, and if Connor Nixon makes the start of this race, will be our grid for race number 2.
Maybe Connor's come back into the session?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
That's how it goes.
Ford or
So there's
Chev
no
in the
more
V8
cool-down procedures
Supercars.
anymore?
It is a Ford and Holden Rusty Bunny, at least in Gen 2. Current Supercars, it is Ford and a Chev for the Mustang and the Camaro. Real world, yeah. Gen 3.
So as I was just about to say, there is no more requirements to do a cool-down lap anymore, because most of the drivers go off screen anyway. So we'll be focusing on the guys on the celebrational grid. While the other ones can disappear after they've gone past the main corner. So, not as demanding for them. They just drive to the very limits of their fuel, and off they go.
Yeah, it's not, and it's normally because in IRL, I prefer the newer Mustang over the Camaro. I just think it looks nicer. I don't like the front end on the Camaro. It looks way too it looks too tall.
You've got to love the GT3 Mustang that's been released. It's racing on Friday nights after the Legend Series.
So is the Corvette as well. I've got a soft space in my heart for the Corvette. It took me to 5th place in the Watkins Glen 6 Hour. So it's both of them are an exceptional addition to the GTD field, of course. Round 1 will be happening this coming Friday now. It's supposed to happen last Friday, but it'll be this coming Friday now. 30 seconds until the lights go up and we go racing for race number 2 here tonight. We'll have Noble and Coleman leading the way, with Doble and a fast approaching Scott Gamble in behind them. Don't take anything away though from Blake Delaney, Harry Dodds, Ty Delaney, Jamie Dyke, Will Brown and Rehan Leonage. We know they've got pace, as well as Darren Lobb. I think Lobby's probably just going to let Rehan pull him forward throughout this race and open the door for him at certain spots, and we may have a nice little big boy dance at the end of this one.
I've got my camera on Rehan, so if you want to put that in the bottom corner of any stage, that's coming through the back.
Very good. We are green and we are go though for race number 2 here tonight, as Coleman tries to slot into the gap early on here. Doble's had to let him in as they come up towards turn number 1 for the first time. Noble's had a nice clean start in this one as they come through turn 1. They all start to traverse their way round here, as there's already been a car slid around at the back of the field. That was Blake Fitzpatrick and Will Buchanan. These guys have already been caught up early on in an incident here as they come round turn 3, and Coleman is all over Sam Noble and looks to take the lead of this race early on here, as Gamble's now started to break away from Dodds and Doble in behind him. As we come up through turn 4 and up towards turn 5 for the second horseshoe on the infield of Daytona. You see Coleman is...
That was a very, very, very measured too wide from the first two corners there. The middle of the pack and back of the pack, apart from someone losing control at the very end of it, was such a measured performance. It was crazy. Everyone was like, yes, we're not going to stuff this up on the first lap. We've got 40 minutes here.
Well, we can see the top 3 are already onto the bowl now of the Daytona Road Course, as Noble leads them down towards the bus stop chicane, as Coleman is within that toe now of Sam Noble, and it may not be too long until he makes his way past him. Has the outside line for the bus stop. Noble's going to try and hold the inside line here. Oh, they come through the bus stop once again. Coleman may have a slowdown. I'm not sure though.
That was a bit of a wiggle there by Noble. Coleman's got the run out of that bus stop beautifully. Noble's wiggle at the top end cost him a bit. Let's see if Gamble's going to tuck in under him as well here and make it through the corner. A lot of pressure on Noble on the outside. He's got nowhere to tuck into.
Well, Gamble's in that toe right behind David Coleman now. Sam Noble's been left out to dry on the outside line. Under brakes too wide into turn 1. We can see Doddsy wants to get involved as well. One of the pairs are going to make their way through as Noble's forced wide by Coleman. He takes the lead. Gamble's going to follow him through. Big wiggle from Noble. Cost him his run to hold off P2 here for the start of this race. Doddsy's trying to find a laneway but can't quite get there, as now Blake Delaney puts all sorts of pressure over them, as Rehan's already made up some spots, but there's been big action at the back of the field with Gallen and Randall.
It's a shame all the way down there. The boys have been fighting it really well. I think Gallen's had a bit of an off night tonight. He's been a bit unlucky. The battle here, watching... Oh, whoa, how was he miss? Oh, he didn't miss it. I thought he was going to miss everyone. That's going to be a drive-through for him with the new rules. If you lose control of a car during a race while in race mode and you cause an incident, he'll get drive-through for that. Dikey and Rian tucking in behind each other. Rian has just got ahead of Dikey about half a lap ago. He is already up 5 places, Dikey up 2. The other big movers is Bruce Tannock up 6th. And Anthony Visma up 7 places.
They come through the bus stop once again. Noble's run it wide. Rehan's managed to find his way through.
Back. That was so close.
Off the back of Scott Gamble's car now. Coleman is just trying to hang with him at the moment. Dodds is further back.
Fastest lap at 1:52.305. Fitzpatrick's called coming in, but I can't quite hear what it is because tonight's vehicle audio is so much louder on this track than any other track we've been on.
This track has really, really loud track mics on it. It's one of those tracks where it just picks it up super, super loud. Visma and Daly are battling in the background at the moment here, up towards turn 3 at the moment. We've got Cowie in the background of them battling it out with Tannock and Will Brown. As Cowie's run it way wide, Tannock's going to come on through. Brown's going to try and follow him. Yeah, this brake bias for Cowie, I think this is the problem right now for him. He's just unable to pull this thing up.
No brake bias. Might have a chat with him. It's nearly cut in under.
It's like Sinker. He took his setup from Tuesday, which was so good in race 1, and then he's like decided I'm going to make changes, and he's completely destroyed it. Like it is not reacting and performing how it was on Tuesday night. Like it's almost like a completely different car setup. He comes up towards the bus stop. He's able to carry good pace through the bus stop here. We can see that Tannock's already carrying a little bit of damage on the front of his car as well, just ahead of Cowie here. But it's good through the bus stop. I just don't know how it is for the infield and for turn 1. It seems that he's set it up. He's probably running minimum wing, but I don't know if that's benefiting him in the brakes or what, but he's going to try an outside running on Tanik down towards turn 1.
What happened to Dykey, mate? He's back to 9th place. He was up in 6th. So I'm not sure what's going on there. Something's happened at the front end of the pack.
Something else has happened is Blake Delaney's now dropped outside of the top 10.
Yeah.
So he's copped himself, I think he's copped himself a slowdown because he's ended up
last lap with 144.08.
That's Noble spun round at turn 3 as well. So Noble's had a rotation, not what you'd want to have from the pole sitter. But at the moment, it is Scott Gamble who leads the way to David Coleman, Rehan Leonage, Harry Dodds and Darren Lobb for the top 5. Then it's Dylan Gray, Ty Delaney, Brad Doble, Jamie Dyke and Anthony Visma making up the top 10 at the moment. Visma's already up 10 spots in this second race, Sinker.
Yeah, he's doing well, Visma. Well, he actually finished the first heat with the fastest lap of that session, so he's definitely got some pace on him. I've got my camera on Dykey finding his way back through the pack now. He's on the back of Doble. He's just about to go over and under on the back of the straight, coming off the out oval, coming in under him. Not quite yet. He's waiting for more space. Noble just called something in for that spin. I'm not sure if it was on his own or if that was contact.
Let's have a further look at it, shall we, and see what has occurred down at turn 3. So he had Anthony Visma in behind him. So down in towards 3. Visma's tried to get him under brakes. Big lock up, and then just an absolute send around. So I do think that Noble has got a case there for that one. Unfortunately for Anthony Visma, but at the moment, Rehan Leonage is putting all sorts of pressure over P2 and David Coleman. And Coleman's currently holding him up because he's allowing Harry Dodds and Darren Lobb to stay with him at the moment.
Definitely doing a great job, Coleman. I shouldn't have mentioned that because I've got the Moz on him now. Let's have a look where our other guns are sitting at the moment. Well,
there's been big contact.
One go there.
Yep, turn 3.
That was 3 of them. That was Cowan, Bruce and Will Brown.
What's happened to them down at turn 3? They're all together. So Tanik and Brown had massive contact once again. And then it's just been an absolute schmozzle. And I'm sorry to say, but it's in my opinion, from looking at that, that's Tanik that's caused that again.
Yeah, you've got to go back a bit further than the contact, though. You can't just make an assumption from there. But that was that was spectacular.
So Tanik's run it out wide. Brown's up his inside. He's going to rejoin the track. They're 3 wide through there. They're now 2 wide. Tanik had plenty of space. He's then turned straight across to the left, and that's then made the contact. Yep, car 12's been given a drive-through penalty, failure to hold brakes. So that's been given to Will Buchanan for turn number 1.
Wow. Well, there was a bit of action there. 4 cars went into that one, so I'll leave that to the boys upstairs. Well, Cowie's struggling a bit of pace. He's looking at cars crab walking at one point there. He's got no rear. Just calling in about R12, so they're talking about that at the moment. The grid's very tight again. Dylan Gray on Ty Delaney, Jamie Dyke. This little battle here on mine lower screen is very tight. Ty's getting a lot of pressure there from Dylan Gray. He's sitting in within 1/10 to 10 to 2/10 pace behind him. Darren Lobb has made himself all the way to 3rd position. He is up 8 places with Rian Leonage as well. Tim Mulford up 11 and Anthony Visma up 10. Some great fighting there. All the points are crucial. It doesn't matter, if you don't finish in the top 3, it's going to be that tight this season that points in the top 10 are going to be crucial points for these guys.
Yeah, I mean, as we mentioned, it's going to be the consistent drivers that are going to be at the championship, pointy end at the end of this race. Car 6 contact lap 4, turn 4 has been given a drive-through penalty. That's Anthony Visma for his contact. Yeah, that's the one we saw before where he came under him. Yep.
Yeah.
As they come up into the Lamore chicane this time by. There's a lot of comments right now about that big old pile-up that we just saw, and it does appear that the chat after seeing that one. They have made the decision. The community race control will call the chat in this sense, Sinker. They've decided that Tanak is at fault for that one.
Should we call the lynch mob?
Just call the People's Court. We'll call them the People's Court. They've decided that Bruce Tanak is guilty of that one.
Picks and shovels and stakes that are lit up.
Yep. As they come around turn one once again. Yeah, car number 6. So that was Anthony Visma.
Yeah, they're just reading that again.
I noticed that last lap actually Will Brown had another incident for himself. He was up towards turn 3. This is what he's done to himself. Daniel says he just locked a brake, maybe a compression lock through the corner. Yep, just a slight slide, and then it's got worse. It's one of those slow rotation Singer that once it starts, it is kind of hard to catch, and it can only get worse and worse as you go along.
I'll give you a heads up here. Visma's just gone, are you serious? So what you got to remember is the car that's coming up on the inside of a car, if the car in front has already got his wheel turning into the corner, he is right to the corner. If the car coming from behind comes in, dives in, and has impacted the car in front, then the car behind's fault because that car in front has the corner already, depending on how far you're driving from. So these boys in RC would have looked at the camera angles, see where he started to turn in, where he started to rotate into the corner, and then how far back that previous car is, so you can judge a car that's diving in based on that information. So if it looked like at that point it was maybe like more than a car length before he's dived in. I don't think Visma's too happy about it, but I can see where RC's perspective is. And you know what? The guys are free to put a ticket in if they're not happy with it, and we review it, and the video goes up so everyone can see the video on how we came to the decision.
Well, I mean, you also remember as well, drivers inside the car as Rehan's trying he's trying to bump draft Gamble right now as Lobs come past to take the lead of the race down and towards turn 1. Now they come. Remember, like drivers sometimes remember as well, you're in the car, you have one perspective of the incident, and there is always some bias in that if you've been given a penalty, because you will always pick your own side.
You go for it. You go for it.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
Remember that hole might be a hole that's already closing before you get there. And I'll tell you what, these 3 boys up front here, Lob, Gamble and Renage, I can see a massive battle with these guys going through all season. And I can see Dykey and Gamble being there as well. Well, Gamble's already up there. Dykey, and who was the other one I was thinking of?
Boys.
That would be up there fighting with them all the way through.
Probably Blake Warboys or...
Yeah, Warboys would be the other one that I'm saying there. Matty Stewart, when he comes back as well, will be evilly fast in there as well. So it's going to be a very interesting season.
We see Scott Gamble, he's trying to take back the lead of this race from Darren Lobb. I mentioned though, I mean, they're going to be swapping and changing positions like school kids trading Pokemon cards. And it's just the nature of this circuit. It's, you get into the toe, you get a free pass, the car's going to let you have it because that's the easiest measure. You're not going to win the race by trying to defend a position for 5 laps with half an hour to go. You're better off just conceding, getting the toe, saving some fuel, and looking ahead to the final 5 minutes of the race when you might start to defend the position.
Yeah. Dylan Gray's got the boys chasing him down. He's in 6th place. He's got Ty Gliding 4/10, Brad Doble 6/10, Jamie Dyke 19. So these boys are all following Dave Coleman across the back there. Taking the wider angle so you can see a bit more of the action rather than the 1 or 2 cars. But up the front here, you've got these 3 boys swapping and changing like crazy, eh?
Oh, they are. They're as I mentioned, they're trading these positions, and they're willingly trading them as well. They're working together. They're not necessarily battling each other. They're just driving around each other right now. We know that the battles are really only going to come at the end of the race when they're battling for that top step and they're battling for the checkered flag. At this point in the race, you've got to look at it we've got to get to the end first. Let's just hang out together for a bit. Maybe try and, break that toe as best you can, but then you've also got to rely on another driver to try and attack them. Car 1, 2, 3 for contact on lap 5, turn 4. That is Bruce Tanak. He has been given a penalty for the absolute destruction. There's 123. So the People's Court and the race control agreed on that ruling that it was Bruce Tanak at fault for the incident down at turn 3.
And he's already going through. Well, we have here Lobby is settled in the place in front. Gamble is putting that pressure on and really getting into that exhaust fumes.
Yep, just coming in and using that bump draft of
very
Rob.
clean, very, very clean. And the boys down the bottom as well. They got Coleman on their side, still in great, putting pressure on like crazy. He's 210s on the bottom screen. And have a look at them all lining up, 1, 2, 3, having a bit of a go.
Not giving anything up at the moment as Gray looks to go for the outside run on Coleman. The bump draft still working at the front of the field now. These battles are all over the place.
Right now, I'd be Code Brown.
Lobby knows that Gamble's not going to do anything untoward. There's been an incident on the last lap involving Shane Randall. Looks to be down at turn
Travis
1.
and Coleman are in the pits. I was just about to say, are we close to pit times?
I'm sure we would be, actually, as that was a self-inflicted spin there from him.
We're at the 17-minute mark of 40 minutes. So I'm not sure if Coleman and Travis have done that. Well, yeah, Travis has called the pit in, so yep, they're pitting.
Yeah.
Let's see where they come out.
We'll see if this is going to pay off for them in the long run. Should only be a one-stop strategy for this race, and maybe trying to go for an undercut strategy on the rest of the field.
Coleman's coming out now. Where is he coming out? He's coming out in P18. P18.
Yep, still ahead of Travis Daly, as Brad Doble's trying to hold off Jamie Dyke at the moment. Come round the bowl up towards the bus stop chicane at the moment. So again, this is, I mean, this is one of those races, one of those tracks that, you know, all these guys would be willing to work together. Remember, they're not really going to be battling too hard at this stage. We know the battles are going to come in the last 5 minutes of this race, because they know that there's no point battling too hard because they can't make the checkered flag if they pin the car.
Yeah, 100%. Dylan Gray's got a bit of pressure there by Ty Delaney, who's 1/10 of the lane behind him in the bottom screen, followed by Brad Doble and Jamie Dyke. So there, Jamie Dyke looks like he's going to have a bit of a sniff on the tile screen as well on Doble, but goes on the outside line. Doble's braking line is a little bit, he's straightened it out. Doble's braking point was a little bit earlier than Dyke's, which gave Dyke the pass, and then nearly took out the little fish in the process of it. The little fish has regained it. Nothing's been pulled in at the moment, so I'm assuming they're both happy with that being a racing incident. We've got Mulford, Cowan and Brown in the pits at the moment who are coming in. They're the second three that are coming in, so everyone is starting to file in slowly but surely.
Yeah, they're all taking the moniker of that's coming around about the halfway point, put some fuel in it, get it home. As this battle continues on now, Brad Doble there, yeah, it looked like a bit of a racing incident, but I think the fishies were willing, maybe a self-report there, possibly, I don't know, but I mean, Doble, he had a bit of a slight slide, and then the fishies probably happy that he just kind of stopped and let him go back through.
Yeah. Well, that's been called into race control now, so they're probably reviewing that as we speak. Going across there. Now, Ty Delaney and Jamie Dyke still very tight. Jamie and Ty have actually got gapped by Dylan Gray during that process by 2 seconds. So those boys have got a bit of a fight to catch them up. Let's see where else we've got. Blake Fitzpatrick and Gallen are teammates. They're working their way together, trying to get up the pack. Both up 8 positions at the moment behind Anthony Bismarck, who's gone for a drive for about 3 seconds off the pace of him. Doble has caught up to Dyke. No, Doble's gone into the pits. Doble's got into the pits. Let's see how that affects his positioning on the positions of Coleman and the boys that pitted early. Let's see how they come. Coleman is the first one to pit at lap 9. So Brad Doble and Sam Noble. Brad Doble and Sam Noble have both gone in the pits at the same time. You can just see them on the right-hand side.
Well, as we look at that as well, the top 4 battle is continuing on now. Rehan Leonage has found a laneway past Scott Gamble and into P2. Lobby had actually run it slightly wide at 1, but still managed to keep the run through the corner and managed to hold off Leonage for the lead of this race.
There's Coleman. There's Coleman coming around the front of him.
Yeah, Coleman's
So-
got that easy done.
Yeah, easily done. Easily done. So there was no undercut there. Buchanan's just gone in as well.
Did Coleman come in ahead of Doble?
Yeah, Coleman came in at lap 9, and
No.
Doble's done lap 11.
When Doble came in, do we recall if he was actually ahead of Doble at that point? So when Coleman came in on lap 9, was he ahead of Brad Doble when he came in? And so that the undercut has worked then. He has actually undercut Brad. But that will also probably come down to the fact.
Brad hasn't,
that would come down to the fact because Doble has, he had that slight half spin at turn 1. He's then dropped some pace because of the battle that he was having with Dykey. Natural progression of that little moment there as Doddsy and Grave now brought their cars in the pits. Darren Lobbs run it way wide though at turn 1. That's now going to allow both Leonage and Gamble through for P1 and 2 on the road. Race control saying cars 3, 5, 1 and 1 on lap 11, turn 1. No further action as we suspected, Sinker. It's just a bit of a racing incident between them, and he just let him have it.
On the inside,
yeah.
Which I think he was lucky that he didn't spin out. I think he was lucky that young Ty was there, straightened him out a bit. Everyone's gone in now. Delaney, Noble, Gray. Let's have a look and see who is going to go. Gray's in the pits. He's already out, coming out. Let's see where he comes out.
Coming out behind Harry Dodds at the moment. Just need to watch where Coleman, Doble and Daly are in behind him. I don't think they're going to get past him here through this pit stop as Gray brings it out of the exit now. And he stays in P8 on the road. At this stage, the drivers who have not pit as of yet include the top 3 or top 6 cars on the road: Gamble, Leonage, Lobb, Delaney, Ty, Delaney, Dyke and Visma. All those guys need a pit stop in this race.
Yeah, there's a big variety there from lap 9 all the way up to 12 so far. So every couple of laps someone's coming in. Gamble's got the lead at the moment with Rhea Leonage and Darren Lobb, 2 tenths behind each other. So these boys are putting on an epic fight amongst themselves out the front. While you're down the back, I will go down the front.
As Gamble and Leonage.
They just did it, as I said it. Beautiful timing.
They are.
All right, Lobby stayed out. Gamble and Leonage has gone in. So the first of our pitters is, the boys have gone. Harry Dodds is in a great position now, and Dylan Gray. So they've just pitted not long ago, and they're not too. They're leading Coleman and Doble. So let's see how they come out.
Well,
Dodsy's in as well now.
Dodsy's coming up towards the pit entry now. So as he comes round.
This is the key, yeah. This is the key. He goes round.
Yep. Dodsy's going to come
Gamble.
up. I think they've still got him here. They're coming up towards the pit exit. Yeah, Dodsy's still coming up through.
Yep, here he comes.
So they've got him still.
Here he comes. He's on the outside. He's got himself in a great position, though.
He's going to have a run down towards 3. He's going to have the warmer tyres. He's going to try this on the inside of Leonage now. Down in towards 3.
Oh, side by side.
Oh, we said that at the same time. My God. As the battle continues on, Doddsy slots back in behind Leonage. He had to let him have it there through turn 4.
Hey, Doddsy.
Dodsy's done well. This has reinvigorated him joining Pacific Esports.
Strategy has done really, really, really well. So out of that, Dylan Gray has come out just in front of David Coleman. Harry Dodds has passed him on an occasion. So Dylan has made up a spot. Brad Doble is now putting the pressure on Dave Coleman, who I'll go to for the back end of the
Well, as you say that, Lobby has just brought it into the pit, Sinker. So
here we go. I'll get Lobby on.
Yep, we need to keep an eye on where Lobby ends up compared to these guys. He's still on board here with Harry Dodds. As he comes through the bus stop now in behind Rehan Leonage. There's Lobby in the pit bay as the top 3 cars in behind him come round the final corner now. You can see Gamble in view out of Doddsy's windscreen. There's a better view for us.
Right.
He's just dropped.
And he's going.
Here come
Here
the
he goes.
boys. Down towards turn 1. I think Gamble and Leonage are going to get him. I don't think Dodsy's going to get him here. Oh, but Gamble's run it way wide. Leonage is going to come through. So is Dodds.
Here we go.
Up towards the next corner. Leonage has got him. Gamble would have gotten him if not for the mistake. Dodds has to slot him behind.
Close. That was close. Blake Fitzpatrick's just called something in. Coleman's in the pits again.
Oh, I wonder why. Maybe he forgot his flask. Maybe that's the problem.
Oh, Leonage has gone wide. He's opened the door for Lob. Lob's taking the inside line. He's going to push it all the way through. Will Leonage take him to the next corner? No, he's tucked in behind him.
Yep, he's gone for the smarter play of take the toe on the next lap and get it moved done down towards turn 1. They come through turn 6 and turn 7 now. We're going to have a quick look here at this moment between Blake Fitzpatrick and Shane Randall. So it was at the bus stop. Fitzpatrick wanted the outside line. He's then gone for a switchback on Randall and then locks it up and then crosses the grass and gets a mammoth slowdown. What's he calling that in for?
I don't know.
That doesn't...
Looks like he just missed his brake marker.
Yeah. Hang on, let's see this.
We'll leave that one.
Let's quickly...
Leave that one down for the powers to be down the bottom.
Let's quickly check this in the slow-mo. So, as we've got the other screen on now of the top two. So, Randall's on the inside line. Fitzpatrick's on the outside. Randall's then moved over to get into his braking zone, which is fine. There's no overlap. Fitzpatrick's then switched with him to go the inside line. Under brakes, locks it up. Randall's had a slight compression lock at the same time. And they've both just wiggled on through and straight line the corner. It's a racing incident in my eyes, Sinker, between them. I mean, they both had a bit of a moz under brakes. Yeah.
Both made errors that cost them positions. Yeah, that is what it is. Yep. If you're going to send it on the inside there, you've got to make sure that you're going to make it. Maybe he was talking about the move across the front of him early on the straight, but he had overlap, so there was no... It wasn't in a braking zone, didn't look like it was anyway. Anyway, Leonage has taken the lead again, and Gamble's back into the back of Lob as well, so the boys are fighting it out like crazy. And we've got Harry Dodds just at the back there. Harry Dodds has just set the fastest lap, a 1:44.804. Harry Dodds setting the fastest lap in a Warren Brown V8 Supercar Championship is pretty damn good. That is crazy. John Gallen's back in the pits again. Where are our other contenders at the moment? So we've got in first place Leonage, second place Lob, third place Gamble. Leonage and Lob have just changed as they're coming down the straight. They'll probably change again as they come to the first corner as Lobby takes the lead again. Dylan Gray, Harry Dodds in fourth, Dylan Gray fifth, Ty Delaney in sixth, Jamie Dyke in seventh, Brad Doble in eighth, Travis Daly ninth, and Blake Delaney Sr. in 10th. That's your top 10 run out, and the boys are finding it a lot crazy.
Tell you what, you got to be impressed right now with the fact that Doddsy has not let these guys break the toe on him at all in this race. He's just sat with him the whole time, racing super consistent. Lobby, though, on the inside of Leonage, in towards turn number 1. Gamble's seen a door opening. He's tucked it up the inside of Leonage now. Looks to take P2 on the road. Dodsy's there with him at the moment. Ooh. They're going to go 3 wide into turn 3.
Dodsy coming through. 3 wide.
Oh, he's had to back out of it. He's gone for the switchback.
Oh, look at this.
Dodsy's taking them both.
Dodd's going to take it on the inside.
Dodsy wants both of them. Through 4 they come. And I tell you what, if you were a cameraman off the back of Lobby's car, you'd have the best seat in the house right now.
That is crazy. Can we have a look at Dyke Doble? Yes, we can. They're just here on the bottom screen. That was some epic fighting, and what a pair of cojones there from good old Harry Dodds, getting himself into second place. That was a spectacular little move. We'll have to have a look at that a bit later on. Whew. Crazy stuff.
Well, out of all of that, Sinker, Darren Lobb has now got a 1.49 second lead. If he can gain about 3/10, he's actually going to break the toe over Rehan Leonage as Gamble wants to move down the inside of Dodds. he's not going to quite get the double on Leonage as well as they come through the bus stop chicane. And up back onto the bowl now. They've still got the toe on Lob, so that should drag them back into this battle. But they are just absolutely sending it at every single corner, taking any semblance of an advantage that they can. Oh, it's very smart driving from Dodsey there, Andrew. Incredibly smart.
Yeah, he did that really well. Really well. That was sort of spectacular moving there. I've taken the widescreen from the bottom so you can see the gap with the boys there. Jamie Dyke has gapped Brad Double by a second now, but he's got Travis. There we go. As I was about to say, Travis Daly has just passed Noble on the outside of the course, and then Dykey's putting pressure on the back of the young guppy himself.
This battle for P2 on the road is now starting to heat up, and Darren Lobb is now at 1.7 seconds ahead of Scott Gamble in P2 on the road at the moment, so he's not too far away from breaking this toe. So if Gamble's got any pace over Lobby right now, he needs to try and use it to his advantage, because he cannot afford Lob to build this gap any more than he already has, because otherwise Lobby's going to run away with this thing. We've got 9 or about 8 minutes to go in this race. And Darren Lobb leads the way to Scott Gamble, Harry Dodds, Rehan Leonage and Dylan Gray for the top 5. It's then Ty Delaney, Jamie Dyke, Travis Daly, Brad Noble, Blake Delaney for the top 10. Then Mulford, Noble, Visma, Brown, Cowan for the 15. Fitzpatrick, Coleman, Buchanan, Houghton, Tannick, Randall, Boyd and Gallen make up the rest of the running order.
Tell you what, the fight's not over, mate. You look at Travis Daly, Brad Doble, Blake Delaney in that bottom screen. They're going for it left, right and centre. Blake's just about to have a move on Doble. He's got him down to 1/10 on the rear end of that. You'll see him come out of the corner there. Blakey's on the inside. Is he going to outbreak him into the first corner? He has already, and he's already got the pressure down on the back of Travis Daly. Great move there by the senior Delaney.
We can see Brad Doble on the back of this.
Mr. Sam Kukazinos.
I know out of anyone who was disappointed that we couldn't race on Friday night, Sam was one of those drivers. He actually got confused and thought that the iRacing issue was just him. No, Sam, it was everyone.
Well, the amount of quick he's had the last few weeks, I don't blame him for thinking that.
This is true. This is true.
Yeah.
As we come in towards turn 1, bit of a wiggle there from Blake Delaney in amongst this battle.
Gamble has caught. He's under a second now to back of Lobby.
He's
2 seconds before.
Yeah, I think he's just got the pure lap pace over Lobby at the moment, and that's what's allowing him to keep up with him.
Last lap, Gamble was 3/10 faster.
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at Delaney go. We haven't seen Delaney in action for a while, which is good to see him back, mate. All we're missing is the Kingfish, Mr. Whiting, who has registered, but isn't here tonight.
Well, there were rumours that he wasn't actually going to come back from Vegas because he landed a job as an Elvis impersonator, but obviously those were incorrect for Blake Delaney, as Dylan Gray has dropped some spots now to these guys. He's actually had a moment at turn 6.
He's called something in.
Let's have a look here what's happened. I mean, what he's called something in, but he was on his own. So he was already driving slow, and he's actually pulled the car up. So why has he done that? Because he was already going slow. So did he have an equipment failure?
Oh, bottom screen. We've just seen Cowie go out wide and get him nipped by Will Brown in the back, and Fitzpatrick's followed through as well. I think he'll definitely be calling that one in.
So this was a moment with Gallen. He done.
It was towed. 52 has towed.
Yeah, that is Dylan Gray. So I don't know if he's been given permission to tow.
Yeah, he has just now.
And Cowie had a move.
Yes, and that is Scotty Gamble, the legend himself. Darren loves Scotty Gamble, Liam Naj, all up the front, fighting it out. Harry Dodds decided that he's going to just take it a little bit easy. He's a second off their pace, but you know what? A top 4 finish for him is spectacular. If he can do that every week, he'll be there for the coveted 3 steps. Oh, was that a rotation?
Yeah, that was what happened with Cowie. It looked like he'd been helped around. But yeah, I was just trying to find what happened to Dylan Gray, and I couldn't really see anything other than he pulled it up. So whether he's had an equipment failure or something's happened to the car. Maybe he blew an engine.
So maybe it's failure.
Maybe.
No, but he did say he did ask for a tow, so I'm not too sure. Anyway, back to the pointy end. This fight here, now I'll go back to Mr. Daly and the boys behind him because they're really starting to steam it up again. And now we've got Blake hunting down. Here we go on the outside. Blake's on the inside trying to take Daly. Will he make it and hold it all the way through? Daly's taking it a bit wide so he can open up the corner that's coming up. But Blake is tucked in with way too much pace. He got a fantastic exit of the inner to the outer oval.
As Lobby's now going to come back past Scotty Gamble. Well, Sam, if you want to see more of Scott Gamble, you can come watch my Split 2 broadcast. He's my co-commentator for Split 2. So if you want to hear more of his Gambleisms, as we call them on the broadcast, then yeah, Split 2 of Vets is where you'll find him alongside me in the comms box with some Supercars action where he gives all of his expert analysis and really just living the trying to think what the word I want to use here. Living the reference that I said he's very similar to Mark Scaife, and now he is literally like Mark Scaife in the fact that he's super quick, but he also commentates as well. So he is just living up to all legends that are made about him. As Lobby's taken this lead back from Scotty Gamble ahead of Rehan Leonage. Dodsy's kind of checked out in behind them right now. He's given up on this battle with this top three, maybe hoping these guys are going to have some contact possibly in the last 3 minutes, Sinker, but he may be clutching at straws for that one.
No, but how many times have they changed the lead? It's been like a dozen times.
Well, we may need someone to watch this back and actually just put a counter on screen for us of how many lead changes we have in fact had. As I said, 35 odd minutes ago, these guys are changing positions like kids trading cards at school because, they're putting their necks on the line for them. They have had some big ballsy moves. I mean, Gamble's passed someone in the bus stop about 3 times down the inside at this point, so they're not really.
He's had two killer moves tonight in the bus stop, and also the once engine went pop.
Yeah, he's confirmed. He blew his engine.
Man.
Yeah.
That sucks, dude. That sucks.
And just to confirm as well, a drive-through penalty for car 96. Will Brown for the contact with car 991, Andrew Cowan at turn 6. So we can confirm that it was a bit of bit too much of a send as Leonage has found the doorway and come through down the inside of Scotty Gamble there at turn 1, who's now found himself ultra wiggling at the moment, but he has got a big red car at the lead of this race in Darren Lobb, who's trying to hold off both Leonage and Gamble in behind him as he comes up towards turn 4 and 5 now. This top-end battle continues on. Sinker, have you noticed we've had no encoder issues where the stream gets all jumpy?
No, it's been very good.
It's been very clean and consistent.
There's been, even looking now at, I was just about to say, Jamie Dyke and Ty Delaney have just been sitting behind each other, just cruising their way through, looking at the long picture, the points that are going to be available through the whole of the season, because everyone's going to be taking points of each other. If you have a look, Darren Lyon, Ryan Large, Gamble, Harry Dodd, Todd Lane, and Jamie Dyke, one of those is always going to have something that goes wrong, like Dylan tonight, pop an engine. You're going to have people having issues, and you just need to be consistent, and top 10 to top 5 is very important.
That's exactly right. As these guys come through the Le Mans chicane, Mark Houghton has had an incident in the background in the Accelerate Sim Racing machine, and it looks like he has also blown an engine on the infield of this track as he's had to pull it up. So Daytona is
for quite a while now.
Yep, it is. Daytona is just claiming more and more victims of engine failure.
Got to stop at the front again. Look at these two boys. Oh, look at this.
Oh, Gamble wants to make it 3 wide. Lobby
closed that door.
He has its final lap of the race action. Top 3 battle. They are in amongst it right now. They are separated by less than half a second, ladies and gentlemen. Darren Lobb, Scott Gamble, and Rehan Leonage in the battle for the feature win here tonight. Down towards turn number 3 they come. Gamble is parked right underneath the rear wing of Darren Lobb. It's maximum pressure, it's maximum speed. It is maximum excitement here for the victory in race number 2 here tonight. Lap 23, 40 minutes gone. Checkered flags in to go when they cross the line, and it's anyone's game for the top 3 as they come round turn 5 now. Lob leads to Gamble and Leonage. It's all heated up. All of a sudden, they've been swapping and changing positions, but now they cannot let them have it, because if they do, they're going to be giving up a race win possibly. Now through turn 6, up through 7, Sinker, and it's maximum pressure on Lob, and Gamble is in the hot seat because he's going to have the toe down towards the bus stop, and we know he loves the send.
And this is the bit where it's the critical bit. You've got to get that air and get it tight and keep it clean, because the boys behind you are getting a sick drag. Stay on the inside, make them go wide. Make sure you can still break. Oh,
Here comes Leonage down the inside.
He's made the nice little lunge there.
Oh, Lobby's crossed the grass now. He's going to get a slowdown. It's side by side for Gamble and Leonage on the road. Gamble's going to try and get this done. Leonage is going to get tucked up in behind Lob. Gamble, what a magnificent plan there from him. He forced Leonage in behind Lob. They're side by side now. They're inside of each other. They've got contact as Gamble comes up towards the line. He's going to take the win in race number 2. Leonage is going to survive to get ahead of Lob.
Oh, I tell you what, Lob's going to have a look at the rule book, mate. He did a slow down on the race line then.
Well, it depends whether it's actually. No, it depends whether the race line's actually classified for that one, Sinker, because
up on the top or down the inside.
Yeah, that's going to be dependent on. You're actually going to have to turn the racing line on the replay to see what it looks like. As Dodsy's come home in P4, Delaney's come home in P5, Dykey's home in P6, but Scott Gamble, after an immense race, after maximum pressure, is going to take the honours in race number 2. And I just want to quickly talk about that strategy there from Gamble. He comes out side by side with Leonage. He knows that Lob has the slowdown. What does he do? He parks his car 1 car width or less than 1 car width along the laneway next to where Lobby is, so it forces Leonage to get stuck behind Lob so Gamble can gain that little bit of pace and that little bit of gap ahead of him to take the lead. An unbelievable, just absolute masterclass display there from Scott Gamble in strategy when that moment has happened.
That was very well done, and I think Darren Lobb just had enough fuel to finish, because I saw him pull up real slow, and he's towed back to pits, which is a shame because we'd like to have our top 3 up on the podium step, but we did get a fair bit of burnout footage. This was crazy. This was amazing.
This was absolutely insane.
How did that not end up in disaster? Because the drivers know how to drive. They do know how to drive.
The difference is, if we compare this to what I saw this afternoon for Split 2.
Burnout for me, mate. Can you put him up on the bottom screen?
Oh, I've already... we can get that up on the bottom.
Oh, no, he's gone now.
Gone. That's fine.
He's just gone.
That's fine.
Left a question mark for me.
So this was the bus stop moment here. If we bring this up now, so this was what happened. So we can see here, right? So there you see they had
and he's blocked the run of Gamble then, but then this was just special all the way through.
So you see as they come through, Leonage has inside line. Lob has just absolutely straight lined it. Gets the slowdown.
Yeah, if he went left, then he just would have taken everyone out then.
Exactly. He played the
crazy.
smart game, and then Gamble. He knew that Leonage had a bit of a wiggle through there. So what he's done is he's then tucked it up the inside, and you'll see it here. This is the moment that I spoke about of where Gamble. So we're on board with Leonage. Here's Lob. Here's Gamble. So look at this. Gamble can see the pathway on the outside of Lobby, and this is what he's going to do to hold off. If we go to...
So while you talk about this right here now...
So look at that. Where's Leonage going to go?
This particular incident right now is being reviewed by race control. Has the slowdown been served properly?
Well, the thing I would say out of the back of this is the innocent party is Scott Gamble. He's the innocent party in this. The question mark is on those two and what they're doing there, and Lobby doing his slow down.
That is the leaning, and then they're leaning back. But the cars are inside each other.
They're inside each other.
So,
I know we
is
talk
there a
about
bit
it's
of
good to have
negative
some door.
there as
It's
well?
good to have some door banging between drivers, but
Yeah.
yeah,
But I think the result in the end was a fair result. It was the Renault
Yeah.
second and Lobby third.
Yeah.
Because Lobby did take that secret line right across the top. Let's see if the boys are in there and get them in here for a bit of a chin wag.
well, we had all of our moments throughout tonight's race. This is going to do it. Apparently not. There we
Mikey's
go.
in there having a chat with them as well. He's probably having a bit of a chin wag.
He
Wow,
probably
what
is.
the hell about it?
I didn't end up on the podium. Yous all took my opportunity at a podium tonight. What are you doing?
Yeah,
but
yeah.
hey, for once in our life, Cinco, we're actually going to start with Darren Lobb. That's the world we're in right now, where we actually start with Darren Lobb instead of
Lobby's there
ending
now.
with him.
Good. Yeah, all right, let's get in there, Mr. Lobb.
Let's drag him in, and we'll have a chat. to him.
Darren Lobb, how you doing, buddy?
Hang on, what a way to catch him out there, and what a way to bring him in, Sinker. Just the perfect way to describe it. We can't personally say it, Lobby, but you didn't know you were coming in as you said it. But what a way to describe that last lap and that last run.
Yeah. I don't know if I should be upset that I didn't get to hear the answer to the question that I was asking, but that was good fun, man. I'm pretty sure I missed the memo that Scott and Rohan were racing towards, because I was flat out driving as hard as I can, and I reckon they were probably driving at 3 or 4 tenths. But yeah, great fun.
It was great fun for commentating for us, mate. Those last few laps. How many times do you reckon you guys changed the lead? It'll be at least a dozen times.
Yeah, it was anytime someone got out in front, we couldn't stop at turn 1, or you couldn't stop at what is it, turn 6, I think it is. Well, maybe not turn 6. I don't know, wherever it is, somewhere down around the lap. Yeah, we just kept. Scott would get past me when I did it, then I'd see him run wide, then Rowan would get ahead, then he'd do it. So yeah, it was good fun. I don't know what happened into the bus stop there at the end. I don't know who actually hit me and sent me straight, but it was a pretty fun run. It was a pretty fun run to the end.
From the outside of the car lobby, so Rehan had kind of come up the inside, and then there was probably about a 1.5 car widths between you both, and then you've ended up running across the grass. So from the outside, it just kind of looks like you've almost turned in slightly too late, and the car's not wanting to turn in. Obviously, it was probably a bit different inside the car, but from our view, it didn't really look like anyone hit you when you actually came into the entry of the bus stop. But I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
I'm actually just looking at race control in game now. Car 959 0x to a 1x.
Oh.
So that was obviously the contact. It must have just looked like netcode.
Maybe.
I didn't go back.
Netcode, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't go back and have a look at it on my side, but it was good fun. And then, funny enough, I haven't done much driving with the Supercars with the new damage model, but once Rohan and I got into each other, like I couldn't get away from him. It was like we were just glued into each other, and
they magnetize like nothing else now. Like
that I haven't experienced before. So yeah, that was pretty good. It made it real interesting at the end. I actually thought to the last little bump when we broke away from each other and the car kicked sideways, I was actually like, oh shit, here it goes. I'm actually just gonna fishtail him into the wall now, and we both ended up staying straight. So it was pretty good.
It was good. It was very good, mate. When you watch this back, you'll see that battle at the end. You're thinking, "Wow, how the hell did we make this?" And Gamble's move, because it was spectacular. Like you were at the front, you had the slow down, yeah.
On the last lap, yeah, when I jumped the chicane.
Yeah, so you had the slow land. Then Gamble was behind you. Rian came on the inside and blocked his run in between the two of you. Then he changed his line and took to the front, and then it was you two just magnetised together, and he just peeled away with it. It was spectacular racing, but you know what? The whole race was like that. The whole race was spectacular. You guys put a fantastic show up the front. Doddsy pulled off a move of the night twice, one at the bus stop and then one coming out onto the oval in front of all three of you at one point. So there was some spectacular racing up and down the field everywhere, mate. And it's good to see you made the grid. You didn't forget.
Yeah, I made the grid this time. I nearly didn't make the race tonight. I was actually caught out making out some dinner and that sort of thing, and kind of Bruce sent me a message and said, "Shit, mate, you better get in your car quickly. Quali's about to start." And I was like, I'm sure I'll have a Daytona set somewhere. And lo and behold, the car was an absolute bucket of shit in qualifying in the first race, and I must have dropped the rear ride height, I don't know, for the first time ever by about, I don't know, 10, 12, 15 mil in the second race, and turned her into a better weapon. So it was good fun.
Nice. Well, mate, you're still racing for the same mob who gets you out on track and supports your weekly habit of iRacing.
Yeah, I sure am. The DPR boys, they've all been slogging away hard. I think at the 24 hours of Spa this weekend, and been getting some updates through race results, and didn't look like they had a really fun 24 hours. So big thanks to them, and then Barry Manon from MRP here in New Zealand.
Excellent, mate. Well, good luck. It's going to be an epic championship fight this season. I can see any of 8 cars at the moment finishing in the top 3. So I think it's going to be consistency all the way through. But legendary drive, mate. Good to see you back.
Thanks, boys. See you later.
Take care, buddy. Well, let's get Mr. Ryan Leonage.
The good news is we don't have to change our camera angle because he's right there with Lobby on screen.
Ryan, how are you, buddy?
Good, thank you.
Good, thank you. We're more pumped than you are, mate. That was some sensational driving. Watching you 4 guys tonight, all night through, has been awesome. How much fun was it?
Yeah, it's definitely good fun. The draft kept even Harry in the play as well there. So
Yes, he did. Actually, Harry got the fastest lap of the night tonight, which was a 1:44.804. So he did really well. I'm not sure
he
if
got
that
me
was
by like 1,000th.
Yeah. I'm not sure if it was like yeah, exactly. Yeah, yours was. Oh, did you get? But yours. Oh, yours must have had an off during it because it wasn't an official one.
No,
he's just lit up in purple. Yeah. Oh, so he beat you by 1,000.
Yeah, he beat him by 1,000.
Yeah. That's crazy pace out there. So, what's it like to have a few rascally old rascals beside you up and down the field now? Bit more pace, a bit more battle.
Yeah, definitely adds some good fun to it, especially with the reverse top 10 in the second race. Kept us all together and fighting the whole time.
You enjoy the reverse top 10, don't you?
Yep. Otherwise, there's not very much overtaking happening because mostly just saving fuel and stuff.
Yep. It gives you just a bit more of that battle that you got to go through, try to get through clean and enjoy the battle through. We used to have a top 20 reverse when we did the triple nights, but there was just too much carnage. But the top 10 I think is safe because you usually got some really fast quality drivers in the top 10.
Yep, 100% agree on that.
Well, congratulations on the podium tonight, mate. Unfortunately, not the top step. Gamble snuck that one away from you in the very end from all the swapping you guys did. Who gets Ryan Leonage on track?
Yep, was definitely a good battle there.
Who's your main sponsors and looks after you, dude?
All right. Hybrid Racing Simulations, Melbourne Hydrographic Stepper, Prestige Cinematography, Aramex Australia, DHF Tires, RSW Graphics, Bubbles and Balloons, and Phoenix Driver Development. And you know me, shameless plug here. Dad does the setups absolutely brilliant. Definitely message us if you'd like that. And I do the coaching as well. We normally do a couple throughout the season. And even if you're not up for just the full subscription for a season, you can come and ask for some one-on-one stuff.
Excellent, mate. Well, what are you thinking of Monza next week? It's a straight 60-minute race.
It's going to be a little similar to this, I reckon, with the big draft and stuff. So, yeah, it should definitely be interesting.
Same sort of setup, or are you going to be a bit more pointy for the curves?
Honestly, who knows? We'll see what happens.
All right, mate. Good luck, mate. It's got a killer season ahead of us, and glad to have you back on board, and congratulations on your podium.
Yep, thank you guys. See you next week.
Take care. Well, you can interview the champion of the night, mate, because being that he's your cohort during the week,
no worries,
I'll call him
mate.
into the room for you.
All good.
Mr. Scotty Gamble, winner of round 1 of the Warren Brown V8 Supercar Championship. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, good, Steve. Yourself?
Oh, spectacular running, mate. Me and your cohort on a Thursday night were having an absolute blast, mate. You guys changed more positions, and it was like passing the batons in a bloody one of those athletic races.
Oh, I wish every time we changed position, someone would shout, mate, because that was awesome fun.
Well, when you watch it back, you'll watch and see how much fun me and Hamish had. It was spectacular driving, very clean driving, man. But I just love it. Me and Hamish were saying this is rubbing at its best. It was fair, it was clean, a little bit of touch here, a little bit of touch there, but not enough to give you momentum to turn you around.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, they're both Rehan and Darren, they're both fantastic drivers. So you got confidence when you race with those guys, Steve. So you know you can sort of put it up there, and they're not going to give an inch, but if you've got the inch, they'll let it go. Do you know what I mean? So it's really good fun racing with them.
What was your thought in that last chicane coming out? You were out, I think you were in third place when you went into it, and then you came out in first place. What was your thoughts coming through that area? How did you strategize that?
It just worked out, eh? Like, I thought if I had the outside, I knew Rehan would go on the inside, and there was a little bump there, and it sort of just dominoed effect. But I thought if I stayed on that outside, which would give me the inside coming into the exit, I thought maybe I'd have a better chance there. But it just worked out. Like, it just sort of parted and done a bit of a Bradbury, and off we went. And yeah, it was great fun, you know. So.
Was it in the back of you three of you battling? Was it in the back of your minds that having the lead into the final corner with the massive strength of this draft was not a good position to be in?
It wasn't, but at the same time, these guys know how to defend it. Like, they'll run you up high. They won't let you get down on that apron to get that real good draft. So it was, there was an advantage, I think, to be behind, especially if you got the run out of that bus stop. If you got that run, you probably had it. But if you didn't, it would have been a real hard slog to the line, and potentially someone leading, they could have done it because they had control. They're out in front. So
yeah. Well, it was a lot of fun. Any questions for your cohort there, Hamish?
Oh, long time no see, Scotty. I did say to you this afternoon I'll probably be chatting to you tonight, but I guess I kind of gave you a lot of props for that last battle and last move out of the bus stop, because it looked like that you may have known what happened with Lobby, and then you deliberately put your car in a spot that actually blocked Rehan from being able to come up alongside you and Lobby as well to make it 3 wide. And especially from the outside of the car, it looked like that you have lined that up perfectly, that you could have the outside run around Lobby while he's doing his slowdown, where Rehan then has nowhere to go because Lobby's in his pathway, obviously. I guess, was that kind of a part of the approach on the exit, or was it just send it and hope for the best?
Oh, absolutely. When I seen Darren there, I thought Darren's got to slow down here for sure. And Rehan was leaning on my left-hand side. He wanted to get out of there. He seen what was coming. And so, it was absolutely just keep the car there and not leave a car width, because if I gave a car width, Rehan was straight in there. So, it was in my mind, mate. I was thinking about it, and it sort of panned out. I was wondering whether Darren was going to go high or low. And fortunately for me, he stayed low and trying to clear that slow down.
Oh, well, it worked out for you in the end, mate. I suppose it was lucky that tonight did not begin or end the way that Split 2 started their race on Thursday night, but it was a good run from yourself and with the other two up the front with you as well as Doddsy when he was a part of that battle as well. As Sinker mentioned, you guys were trading positions quite a fair bit throughout the race, and just kind of working together to get to that last little 5-minute stint to the end where you would be actually battling for the win at that point in the race. And we've spoken about it a lot. That's kind of the mindset you got to take in this sort of race. Of it's 40 minutes. We're always going to be swapping positions because we've got tow at this kind of circuit. You guys have just worked together, gotten to the last 5 minutes and gone, right, let's battle it out for this win and see who comes out on top.
Yeah, and credit to Harry Dodds. He drove exceptionally well. Like, he knew when to give up the position, and he was just hanging there hoping, that he could get a position. And he drove really well. But, absolutely, it was good fun. I mean, the draft is huge. I'm pretty sure none of us were running any wing. So we didn't have much gripping corners, and it told under braking. We'd often put it wide or lock brakes here and there, and it was very difficult at those temperatures with no wing. But gee whiz, it was a lot of fun.
Oh, mate,
that's what we like to hear.
Yeah, we love to hear that. We love to hear that. when the drivers have a bit of fun as well. But Scotty, let us know. Helps get you and 9.5 Sim Sport out on track. Anyone else you want to give a shout out to as well, mate? And congratulations on the win in the feature race here tonight.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I'd like to thank our sponsors over at 9.5 Sim Sports with Racecraft, Turn In Apparel, RSW Graphics, Racing Ears, Prestige Cinematography, and thanks to you guys. I've missed a couple of seasons. I'm back to have a race. I'm not sure I'll be able to do all of them. I've got some trips planned to go away, but when I can, I'll jump in and race with them, and hopefully we can turn it on, get some good action for you guys, because I actually really enjoy SRW. I think it's a good league, and I love what they're doing. So thank you very much, and hopefully I'll see you next week.
No
Congratulations,
worries,
mate. Good luck next week at Monza.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, mate. Well, that was an epic finish to the night, mate. I just want to address one comment out in the YouTube land. Terry Taylor goes, Tanak driving dirty like always. I really resent that comment. I don't think Tanak was a dirty driver. He was racing like we all race. And unfortunately, things didn't pan out for his move, that's for sure. He's been racing with us for a long time. He does get into his scrapes, but he's not a dirty driver by any means at all.
Oh, well, I'm not going to comment on that. I'm going to leave that in your behalf, Cinco. But looking to next week, though, on the rest of the season, we have got a massive 8 rounds to go in this championship and for Tuesday as well. Of course, next week we go to Monza. We get a nice little preview of what it's going to be like in the pro field. When we race there on Tuesday night, mate, it's going to be a phenomenal race, 60 minutes, a normal round out at Monza. I think drivers' setups, they may be slightly similar to tonight, but I don't know if they're actually going to be running as little wing as they would be around here, just because of how trying to get the car pulled up for all the chicanes around that place. It may only be 1 or 2 points of wing added to it just to help get it pulled up, but should be some phenomenal racing. But I think there will be quite a bit of chaos at that race once again, because Monza, people love a send at turn 1, and it doesn't always pan out correctly for a lot of drivers.
No, it doesn't, but it's going to be very interesting, and it's going to be a lot of fun. The key word the top 3 all mentioned was fun, fun, fun. And look, come and join us for all the shows through the week. We're on here nearly every night of the week, that's for sure, and having a lot of fun. Click, like, subscribe, and get notifications going.
Well, we've got a big week of racing coming up, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, round 2 is just around the corner. Tomorrow night will be the replay broadcast for the Super Formula Championship, brought to you by Cooler Master. It'll be myself and Jack Anderson in the booth for that one. And then we'll be in for round 2 of the Supercars on Tuesday night, brought to you by One of Brown Tools at Monza. Then it'll be round 2 of the Cooler Master Super Formula Championship on Wednesday night. Then JP and Sink will be back in the booth for the Shannon's Insurance Toyota GR86 Nationals. Friday will be our double header, round 1 for the double headers, after having to push it back a week for the Legends World Challenge and the Warren & Brown Tools GTD series. And then we'll be back here again Sunday night for round 2 of the Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars Championship out at Monza. It's going to be an absolutely epic affair. You guys do not want to miss any of the action. You've heard Sinker sell it all night. Be sure to hit the like button, the subscribe, and the bell icon so you are notified whenever we go racing here. 5 nights a week, 6 different series on offer for you. And entries are still open for a lot of them as well. For Legends, all you got to be as a registered driver, message the SRW Facebook page. You'll get a Discord invite, so then you can register for the Legends series. If you want to be a part of any of the other series, though, you must be a paid subscriber of SRW. That is for both the Supercars Championships, the Super Formula Championship, the 8.6s, and the GTDs. Legends is free, but all the others are paid for. All the information can be found on our website, www.simracingworld.com.au. That's www.simracingworld.com.au. You can also get some information at our Facebook page, Sim Racing World TV. For myself, Hamish Munro, and Steve Sinkovic alongside me, we appreciate your time, appreciate you being here once again for the Warren & Brown Tools V8 Supercars Championship. Season 3 has started off to a hot start, ladies and gentlemen. It's only going to get better from here. So we'll see you guys next time for Monza. But until then, stay safe, drive hard, and as always, bye for now.
This is amazing. I was clash heads again. This is like Chaz Mosman and Cam Waters. Almost the same situation. Better contact going down the hill. Sam Noble wants to sniff on Dave Coleman now. Sam Noble bottle right now because tell you what, Bruce Tanner can